I think when most people buy a new phone, one of the main features they're looking for is the camera. How good is it? And iPhones rank pretty high in most people's list of best cameras in a smartphone. And if you want the best camera in your pocket at all times, well, you know, there's really only a handful of phones you can go with. Right now though, we do have new iPhone 13s that are out. And the cheapest model is the iPhone 13 mini, which is the one that I currently have. So I thought, why don't I just show you what the cameras look like with a bunch of camera samples and see what you think. So getting straight to the point, as you can see there's a bunch of samples here. I am trying out stuff with the iPhone 13 mini. We're doing daytime photography, night mode photography, both day and night videography, and of course we're looking at cinematic mode a little bit later in the video. And I have to say right away, the cameras are impressive, but if you've had iPhones, you know that already. The cameras are really, really good. And the iPhone 12 Pro had an amazing set of lenses on there, and now the 13 lineup basically has those same lenses. Well, you know, it's really paying off. And especially with stabilization, you can see in this video right here, this is done with the ultra wide lens, so it has that sensor shift stabilization. You can see how smooth it is as I'm walking, but then, if like Final Cut, we just added even more stabilization, look how smooth this looks. I also do like the colors of iPhone photos, some people don't. But Apple added something new called Photographic Styles. And you can see them here when you kind of swipe through them. They are adding a layer, not a filter, but they are changing some of the color stuff within the photo. The one I've been using the most is rich contrast. It is actually my favorite, and the reason being is that sometimes the iPhone does get rid of the contrast that you want. For me, adding in the contrast does make it look less smartphone photography and more like an actual edited photo. And I'm much more confident now just taking a picture straight out of the phone and posting it without really editing it in Lightroom, because it really does look that good. Night mode in both photo and video is also extremely impressive. There's a couple little hiccups in the video here and there, but photos at least look great, and it does also feel like it processes the photo a lot faster than it did on the iPhone 12 Pro. Cinematic mode though is where it gets interesting. To be 100% honest, I'm not really a huge fan of it. I didn't really use it that much because I just don't really care for it. As you can see in a couple of test shots here, with just an object, it has a hard time finding the focus points. If you're moving, it has a hard time holding the focus points. There's some good samples out there of them using it on people, and it looks okay. But you can even see here from like, our buddy Joshua Vergara, you know, it just gets the edges a little weird. I'm not a giant fan of it, but where I feel like it can look good is, well, right here. So by using cinematic mode on a person in like a vlogging format from the front-facing camera, I don't actually think it looks horrible. I don't think that it necessarily looks good, but where I think that this actually works for people is in social media. I mean, with a portrait mode, think of this as like your Instagram story, TikTok type camera. This, I think, does look better than a normal front-facing camera for your videos. And let's compare that. So this is what the normal video would look like on the front-facing camera. You know, just normal, open up the camera app, hit record front-facing, this is what it looks like. And this here is cinematic mode. Now I don't think that it's 10 times better than just using the regular video mode, but I think that it adds a little bit of just style to your video that, well, you know, if it makes you look a little more professional on social media, it's not the worst thing to do. You know, if you don't have the budget for a camera, this isn't bad. Especially when it's coming from a phone, it's not that expensive. The iPhone 13 mini is very budget friendly, in my opinion. But again, this is the only way that I would ever use cinematic mode and kind of be okay with it, is to make Instagram stories look a little bit more impressive when I don't have time to film them on my camera and edit them on my computer. But that's really all I gotta think about cinematic mode, honestly. That's all I really gotta say about the iPhone 13 mini cameras. I mean, they are iPhone cameras. They look good, they work well, night mode looks good, video is great, stabilization is awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we can get into, like ProRes and stuff like that, but for most people, they just wanna point and shoot. And for most cameras, the best point and shoot out there is the iPhone right now. It is that good. But if you have other questions about this type of stuff, let me know in the comments, and I can make another video on very specific stuff. If we want to go deeper into cinematic mode, I could try it out more. You know, we could set up a scene and actually try to film it like on a set like we would normally with other types of cameras. But ultimately, I just prefer what I have in front of me right now, which is an actual camera. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Any questions at all, leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the photos, and I'll see you in the next video.